Horror Fiction Podcast. This is a horror fiction podcast. We have 3 new stories read by 4 new actors. I'm dreadfully excited to introduce Jude, Scarek, Matisse, Wren, and Phoenix Rhinehart. This first story is read by Matisse and written by Matisse. This story is called The Running Hallows. I was running into the forest. Well, I was running into the forest. I heard a vampire close behind me. I heard footsteps even closer behind me. In this moment, I was feeling terrified. I could feel it was close behind me. It made my whole body shiver. I was really scared. I started to yell for Mom. I must have said it 100 times. But still, my mom did not come. I couldn't bear to look behind me. I knew the vampire's teeth were sparkling in the moonlight. I heard the swoosh of its cape. I called for Mom 100 more times. I had to face it. She wasn't coming to my rescue. I had to save myself. I thought to myself, what killed the vampires? It dawned on me. I needed to get to light. I needed to get out of the forest so I could get to sunlight. But it wasn't going to be so easy. The vampire was closing in. I reached down and grabbed a stick. I turned and tried to jam the vampire in the heart. But then I thought to myself, vampires don't have hearts. But it didn't matter. It turned into a bat right in front of my eyes. At least it was out of my way. I could start running out of the forest. But as I was running, I felt a strange feeling. As I was running, the ground was getting further and further away from me. I noticed that I was thirsty. I had flashes of red before my eyes. I was hungry for blood. What's happening to me? I tried to stop running, then I started to feel I was falling. Oh my gosh. That cold shiver then must have been when the vampire bit me. I took a look at my hands, but they were bat wings instead. I don't know the first thing about being a vampire. I am sure thirsty, though. I better go visit Mom. The next story written by Jude Scarek. Jude's latest tale is called
Hi, my name is Jake, and the story I'm about to tell you is going to blow your mind. It's 2:58, and my impossible mashie is almost done. I guess I'll have to finish it on Monday. The seconds on the clock seem to be going slower every time I look. All I could think about was the cool weekend I planned with Carlos, my best friend since kindergarten. Carlos is a very normal person. But there's only one thing strange about him. He's very good at hiding. Speaking of hiding, that was one of our favorite things to do. Hide and seek. And we had plans to go check out the old abandoned meat processing plant. Carlos and I knew that sometimes that was where the high schoolers had parties on the weekends. But it was the weekend of prom and we knew nobody would be there partying. We got to my house and threw our backpacks down at the front door. We went right to the kitchen and looked through all the cupboards. Carlos was at our house every day. His parents worked really hard and they were barely ever home. There was no way in the whole wide world that my mom was going to let me go to that abandoned old place. So we were stocking up our backpacks with flashlights and snacks. We were making a really big mess in the kitchen when Mom got home. My mom said,
"Hi boys, how was school? What is this mess and what do you think you're doing?"
I just panicked and I blurted out, we're just gonna go camping at Carlos's house. I was super nervous she wasn't gonna believe me. But she must have had a lot on her mind because she just said okay and walked out of the room. We had felt like we just won the jackpot. Now we had an alibi of where we were going to be, so we had the whole night to play. We ended up playing video games till dark. Mostly we just played Dark Souls. My very favorite video game. We were on a dirt path that led to the old meat processing plant. And Carlos kept running off the trail and hiding. Come on, dude, stop acting like a kid. At least wait till we get there to start hiding. He popped out of the woods with that silly grin on his face. And he said in a creepy voice, "If you can't find me, Jake, I'm theirs to take." Who? The ghosts of the dead cows? Haha, very funny, Carlos. He was always trying to creep me out, but for some reason this time the hair stood on the back of my neck. We finally got in the building and it was so super epic and cool. There were things clanging and we could echo and there was a bunch of rotting meat. We got to the part of the building where things were starting to feel a little more dangerous, and it was Carlos's turn to hide. This part of the building was very strange. It had all the sharp kinds of tools they used to slaughter and murder all the cows. Okay, dude, just be careful where you hide. There's a lot of sharp tools and stuff here. Carlos shrugged it off and took off to hide. I covered my eyes and started to count to 50. While I was counting, I heard his footsteps growing farther and farther away. For some odd reason, I felt like he was being carried away. I opened my eyes and looked around the room. I could tell he wasn't even in there. Man, I told Carlos not to go so far. Carlos, where are you? As I walked to the door to escape and run out of the factory, I realized that I was locked in with all the sharp tools. Come on, man, let me out of here. This is not funny. I suddenly realized maybe Carlos wasn't behind this. I found a blood-stained mace that looked like it could cut wood, so I jammed it into the drawer and made a hole in the door. I crawled through the hole and looked down the echoing hallways. It was definitely not as fun without Carlos. Okay. I was walking down the narrow hallways with my hands in my pockets, kicking pebbles, listening very carefully for Carlos. But I heard something I was not looking for and did not want to hear. You didn't find him, Jake. How to take. As soon as I heard that, I split. I ran all the way home, not even thinking about Carlos. I must have been so terrified I passed out and as soon as I hit my bed. When I woke up, it dawned on me. I forgot Carlos. I thought that I should go head back to the factory because I shouldn't have left Carlos, plus it's daytime now. When I finally got there, there was no evidence of Carlos. I searched for what felt like hours, screaming and screaming for him to come out. I wish Carlos wasn't always wanting to hide. This was a disaster. Oh God, what am I going to tell my mom? And Carlos's parents? I knew it was time to do the right thing. I went home and called 911. The police came and there was a search party, but there was no evidence found. Carlos was gone. I never stopped hearing that voice in my head, though. It's been 60 years, and I'm sitting here in my rocking chair thinking about Carlos. I'm getting ready to go back to that cursed factory ever since that day. I went and visited, but I will never return to that factory for the rest of my life, because what I heard scarred me for life. Jake, you never found him, Jake. He was always ours to save. This is Jude Scarek, and for our final tale, we shall be listening to The Island. Read by real Matisse, Lenn, and Phoenix Rhinehart.
This is a story about a man that had it all. He had a wonderful wife, amazing kids, and a wonderful job. They just moved to a special place called the Island. This place seemed perfect. Water views, mountain looks, and even a sunset, a beautiful sunset. The man's birthday was fast approaching. His family had a wonderful surprise for him. They were going to throw him a party on the beach. His little kids were so excited. Excited. I'm so excited for Buddy's party. But louder. Hey, Buddy. Happy birthday. The party was all set, and it's time to get Dad. Dad was having a great time. They were dancing and laughing, and everything was going great. But then it happened. Dad was walking around the beach. He was about to make his birthday speech, and something fell on his head and killed him. And you want to know what it was that killed this amazing man? It was a coconut. Daddy! No, Dad, not a coconut. But alas, a coconut took him from our world. Always beware of the dangerous coconut.
I hope you enjoyed this special birthday episode for Shane Conway. I'm Jude Scarek.
I'm Rhinehart.
And we'll see you next time on